Hello guys, good day. This is Anne of Reinforcement Club, your fellow positive reinforcer. Today we're going to talk about when a friend breaks your trust, what to do after the apology. Like for example, your most trusted friend reveals your secret to your classmate or classmates. That could be your most protected secret of all the secrets you have, or it could be your dirty little secret. It has been you became the talk of the town because what your best friend did to you, giving out your secrets. Or your best friend cheated on you with your boyfriend or girlfriend. And then she said, I'm sincerely sorry. So what are you going to do with that before you hang them? No, I'm just kidding. So our talk today actually centers about, what are you going to do after your peace of mind has been ruined by one of your trusted friend, or it could be your best friend. So that's actually painful. That's heartbreaking. And it's not actually initially, it isn't easy to process that how in the world this person could ever do this to me. How in the world, out of all the goodness that I did, that I kept our secrets together, how could this person betray me? Think about that. And then just tell me sorry, or not even sorry at all. Like, all right. But in this talk today, like for example, your best friend said sorry after getting caught cheating with your boyfriend. I'm sincerely sorry. So, what are you going to do? After all the hurt, the anger, and then it's not only the anger that you have to deal with immediately. The truth of the matter is, after you experience betrayal, it's just somehow it's gonna get stuck in your head for a day or days or month, especially when it's really heartbreaking that you've trusted this person so much and they just snap. They just throw you under the bus just like that, without any effort, just like that. What are you gonna do about that? What are you gonna do about the apology? So, but there are also friends, but it actually depends on the situation, that some people do give second chance to those good friend who somehow hurt them so bad. Some people do give second chances, or second chance, not actually chances though. Now, when your friend tells you, I'm really sorry, I'm sincerely sorry about what happened, about what I did. Initially, I know you really want to, some people, sometimes they couldn't stop their emotion. Although you can't really blame them if they give out in front of those, friends who just tear you apart. Just like that. But as much as possible, it's after giving out, after venting your emotion, after being betrayed, it's important to really to pause and assess your feelings. After the peace is ruined, after the hurt, give yourself a space before responding emotionally. You give out. You can't. I can't even blame you if you give out in front of that friend. I trusted you. How dare you do this to me? And then cry, and then there's a lot of emotional, whirlwind that is going on. But before you come up with your dirty solutions, like I forgive you, or come on, or I want to cut this off, before the final judgment, it's important to really think about, take your power back. to yourself. Get your act together first. After giving out, after all this hurt. And it's important to really also consider the nature of the betrayal. Is this only one mistake? Did your best friend or one of your most trusted friend did this only once? Or is this a kind of pattern of disrespect? Did it break your trust, privacy, loyalty, values? To some people, it's especially betrayal of trust. It's hard to put it back together. Maybe values, maybe privacy. But that's also trust. But once the trust is broken, it's so effing hard to bring it back the way it used to be. And for sure, it wouldn't be the same anymore. Some people, as I said earlier, some people would give those cheaters or cheaters another chance, or fuck up friends a second chance. But it all depends on the situation. It even happens to some relationship though that your boyfriend cheated once, twice, three times, and then in the name of love you still forgive them, but it's already a pattern of disrespect. It's another story. And one day you're just gonna wake up and then I'm done. This wouldn't work anymore. It's just a couple of hit on the brick. Life is hitting you on the brick. Hey, come on, wake up. It's important to consider the nature of the betrayal. Is it a matter of trust, values, loyalty? Your friend doesn't hang out with you anymore, and you felt like you're being betrayed. So maybe it deserves a second chance. But once again, I'm telling you, once the trust is broken, it wouldn't be the same anymore. Even with a couple of chances you can give, but trust wouldn't be the same anymore as it used to be. And after evaluating the nature of the betrayal, it's also worth knowing the sincerity of the apology. Is it is your friend really accountable about what happened? Like, for example, your friend would say, I'm sincerely sorry. I hurt you by doing this, by hanging out with your enemy, or I hurt you by dating your boyfriend. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's really deep. And does the way they said it, like, did they ever tell you any actions, resolution that they wouldn't say it? You can expect them to make some changes. But once again, though, cheating is worse, and it's going to take time to heal. So it's important to have a look at the nature of the apology. Is your friend accountable about her action, or that's just for the show? Or you can come up with the agreement that next time you're gonna do this, don't do your do's and don'ts together. So once again, it depends on the nature of the betrayal. Is it about loyalty, values? You talk about being loyal and kind just to each other, but then your friend hang out with your enemy, who you hang out with the person you hated most secretly. So, but however, if it's really cheating, it's another story. And it's also important to decide what you need to do. After looking at the nature of the betrayal, as well as the apology. Is it really real? Have you come up with a resolution and an action? Are you expected to check any changes from your friend if she wants to rebuild the damaged trust and loyalty and values? She wants to rebuild your relationship, the relationship with you as it used to be. And yeah, after that, you decide what you need to do. Maybe you want to ask further questions. How can you do this to me? What made you do this? for whatever reason. Maybe there's a reason behind it. But once again, cheating, it's really hardcore. How can you do this to me? How could you date my boyfriend? We're in a relationship. Come on, come on, this is something stupid. I want to listen. You can ask questions. And you can even decide to set boundaries, while repairing your broken heart, your damaged trust. You can set boundaries by means of taking time apart, or you can even say that you're not ready to forgive or never will forgive because you've been cheated on by your best friend. You're not ready to forgive. Please, leave me alone at the moment. Just don't hang out with me. I don't want to, I need to get some space for myself while I'm repairing my broken heart. If that betrayal is about trust. Otherwise, if it's about loyalty, then you hear out the reason why your best friend is hanging out with your enemy, with someone you secretly hated. You already have an agreement, you have an exchange of ideas about that person, and your best friend just instantly you found out that they're hanging out together. Your best friend has been leaving you behind, and then you heard the reason why, and the reason could be acceptable, and you never know. Then you can agree a resolution for that. Otherwise, once again, if it's about trust, sometimes that's the beginning of the end of the friendship, of any relationship. Broken trusts. And it's important to really, after coming up with what you need to do, after asking questions, if you need to ask questions, if things isn't really that clear enough for you, you can ask questions. Otherwise, you can set boundaries and you communicate it, without being cruel, without being rude. You can, as much as possible, communicate your response clearly. You can even say, I hear your apology, but I need space to process this hurt if the trust is broken. Apology noted, but the damage was so deep, and I think I cannot continue our friendship anymore. As what I've said, it's the beginning of an end. Or you can even say, I'm still really hurt, and it's going to take time to know what I want. Please give me space. Don't hang out with me at the moment. Don't call me. Don't text me. Just give me space so I can process everything. I can heal with myself. It could be with some other new friendship, new people, travel, new place. You can help out yourself, heal. And whatever will be your decision, most importantly, protecting your peace is the utmost priority. Like you can always forgive, for your own peace, but still choose to walk away. It doesn't mean that you can even forgive those cheaters. Forgive your boyfriend who cheated on you. Forgive your best friend who cheated on your boyfriend. That's already a punishment for them. They're going to be together, all right. Just let them go. I forgive you. That's for my own peace. But we're not going to be friends. We're not friends anymore. That's for your own peace. Imagine, if you don't protect your peace, you still hang out with them. What kind of life would be that? You can rebuild trust or the relationship slowly with boundaries. You could even choose to do that. Or, the way hanging out with people who broke your trust, actually, it's kind of a, going back to them. Somehow it's going to take time to make yourself feel comfortable again. And healing doesn't always require reconciliation. Sometimes, if the boundaries that you set together didn't work, you're still uncomfortable, then It doesn't mean that you still have to quote unquote hang out with that person. You can respectfully limit your time with that person, slowly fading away. But in the most part, though, what I'm trying to say in this topic is that whatever will be your decision in every betrayal that happens in your life, could it be loyalty, breaking the values that you set together and your team, in your relationship, or it could be betrayal of trust. It's important to really prioritize your own peace, not their healing. Come on. Prioritize your own peace and healing until you can finally be happy again and can able to trust other people again. Be comfortable again, ready to give your trust again. That is important. Because, if you decide for the other person, how about yourself? Who's going to prioritize you? Who's going to look after you? If you're still minding the peace, the welfare of the person who betrayed you. Imagine yourself. Imagine what kind of life you're gonna have. So always love yourself, prioritize yourself, even though you let the person down. And besides, they already betrayed you. So that's the point. And I hope I shared something valuable today. If you ever love this episode, you can share this to your family and friends. You can follow me in YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even in Amazon Music, as well as in X. Reinforce Me Club, by the way, this is Ann, your fellow positive reinforcer. I do appreciate your time and have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.